Lagos, we're live, and it's time to talk business. Good morning.
Good morning, Valentine. Good morning, Lagos.
0809-444-0981. On Twitter, use that hashtag BusinessExpress981. And you can also leave a comment on our YouTube live stream and join us live to see the faces of the wonderful guests in the studio, as well as youtube.com/smooth981FM.
All right. I think today is a legal edition of Business Express. All types of sanctions and court actions left and right, and fines.
And how are the banks doing?
Yeah, the banks are, well, as far as the stock market is concerned, aren't doing very well. Yesterday we had a sharp drop in the markets. I think it was 1.25% is where the market dropped. 33,611 points is where it closed. A significant sell pressure in Nestle. I think Nestle was the top loser yesterday. 9.6% is where it closed, down 9.6%. Union Diagnostics was the top gainer yesterday, up by 7.4%. Only 10 stocks gained in value on the entire exchange, just 10. While we had 21 losers, the rest didn't change. Year to date, the market is down now by 12.1%. So far this month, we're down by 3.5%. So it's still dropping, but hey, again, if you're long term, hang in there. I'm in there. Nwanne is in there. Bolarinwa is in there. We're all in this market together. So let's hang in there. All right, guys. The first item we're going to deal with here, the Nigerian Stock Exchange has on Bolarinwa. What's happening? I think they were late filing.
Yeah, late filing. The regulator is simply doing its job.
Yeah.
Because the rules of the market is clear, and the role of the regulator is to ensure that there's compliance with the market rules. So what has happened is that they were supposed, according to the NSE post listing requirements,
yep.
You are supposed to submit your quarterly financial statement not later than 30 a month after the end of the quarter. And the quarter ended in June. That's the second quarter for companies that run a financial year that is in tandem with the calendar cycle.
Right.
So the second quarter ended in June. Ordinarily, you're supposed to have filed within that June and July. This is September, so that didn't happen. So the penalty kicks in.
Right.
It starts with 100,000 naira per day for the initial 90 days.
Right, or being late.
If that persists and you move into the 91st day and 180-day period, you start paying a fine of 200,000 naira per day.
200K per day. Wow.
If that continues, if you're a chronic defaulter, if it continues, you move into the realm of 300, and that's crystal. Then you move into the realm of 400,000 naira, and as that continues.
Because it sounds like a private jet hangar.
It's
right. Basically to deter people from being.
But another thing though, for investors, I mean, if your financials are late, that's a bad sign, and that's the reason why I wanted to share this with Lagos and everybody else. I mean, if something
sometimes it's not necessarily that it's bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes that undergoing
auditing.
But then when you have audit, there's an another extension for you.
And you're supposed to announce it ahead of time and let the
market
know.
know. So I think the deadline for when you have audit around August 29th. So once you delay in that one, you now start with the sanction.
All right, we shall name some names.
Actually, it's a name and shame.
It's a name and
His name and shame. You guys want to list some of the names of the companies here? There were banks, insurance companies, non-financial institutions. Yep.
So we have Unity Bank.
Unity Bank is on the list.
Skybank.
No one has been known for it.
I don't even know NFP want to be finding CBN. Technically, it's finding CBN.
If they're finding Skybank,
right.
One is joking. CBN took over Skybank. Just for those that don't know, CBN took over Skybank. So that's what he means by they're finding CBN.
Meaning CBN is not compliant.
CBN is not compliant.
I'm not there.
Fidelity. I mean, there are a lot of companies here. Fidelity Bank, Starco Insurance. African Alliance Insurance, Rose Nigeria PSC, Afro Media. So FTN, Cocoa Processors, about almost 30 companies on this list here. So anyway, that's
but if you look at the list. The
yeah.
list is most of those companies are not
very active on the
yeah,
exchange.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So now
so the impact will be less. It won't be felt like that
on them. Yeah. All right. So we
but
move.
it worsens their cash flow
because they're still paying those fines.
They're paying those fines.
How much were the fines? Where is that number now? 2016, 2017. Companies were fined more than, what was it, 400 million naira in 2016, half a billion in 2017 on fees for late filings. Ha!
It's collection.
Exactly. All right, we're still, I think.
Well, again, for some of them, let's not
lower than that. All right. Hey, look, headline says here, SEC suit against GL
for the case on the civil to be dropped,
right.
and was making the move for the criminal case also to be
right.
But the court ruling is that there are two different cases.
Right. So they should both go to
they
court
should
for trial.
Both go to court for trial. The story is clear. For people who have been following the market development, there was a suit against BGL committing some infractions.
Yeah, where investors lost a lot of money, Abi.
About 5.7 billion naira.
Yeah.
Were lost by 32 innocent investors.
Innocent in quote.
No, I mean innocent. That's how they put it there. That's how the court puts it. So anyway, so that one is proceeding to trial.
So it will continue.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see now. A court stuff left and right. MTN has finally decided to respond, gentlemen.
It took them so long.
It took them a little while. But they have decided to seek redress from the courts against the CBN and the Attorney General of the Federation regarding the $8.1 billion in repatriated funds that they want to bring back.
Paid tax of 2 billion.
On paid tax. This is in dollars, not naira.
This one can fund budget.
Exactly. 2 billion. So guys, that's also forward as well for them. So they decided to make it a legal matter. They're fighting back essentially.
Yes, it gives their investors room to at least see that at least in quotes, put a face that things are not they didn't actually commit those things. And again, for me, is where I find it worrisome is the fact that the AGF is now
a tax collector.
We ought to have like an audit department for
the FIRS
to do such things.
Should we read this quote here from them? According to their statement, in order to protect MTN's Nigerian assets and shareholders' rights within the confines of the law, we have applied today in the Federal High Court of Nigeria for an injunctive relief restraining the CBN and the AGF from taking further action in respect of their orders, while we continue to engage with the relevant authorities on these matters.
But you know that there's an issue. Nigerian courts.
Yeah, of course. Now there's also that.
There's usually this delay, and what that Nigerian government usually follows these things.
And they find the banks already. The banks have already debited. The CBN has debited the banks. That they said help them out.
I think it's a smart one on their part because CBN has commenced move.
Right.
You just mentioned the aspect of debiting the banks now. So what they've done with this is to get the court to make the CBN and AGF to stay action pending when discussions will be finalized with the various parties, which is a smart one on their part because while you are engaging, you can just see a situation whereby you get heavy amount on your business. But with this, the court will may likely restrain if judgment is in their favor, may likely restrain the CBN and AGF from carrying out some heavy moves against the company. So I think it is a smart one, pending when they will be able to resolve discussions with the other parties.
All right, so ongoing. And messages?
Yes, we have a quick message in from Chidi on WhatsApp. Chidi says, if our regulators and government understand basic economics, they will be a bit lenient in sanctions because market sentiments will keep affecting stock prices. They need to know that international investors are watching us. Chidi, he also says, why has Skybank not released its audit report since 2016?
Is it 2016 or 2015? Skybank has, they've had a few. I mean, they've disclosed it now. They've had a few issues, a few delays. But they came out. They sent they were supposed to release it this year, I believe. They said they made an announcement that they will actually might release back, and it's going to be backdated all the way to 2016. But the company's had a few troubles.
But I differ a little bit from the comment.
The first message,
first message, because the international investors who want transparency in the market.
Right.
One of the obligation that companies owe to the investors is to release reports timely.
Right.
And if you are not releasing report timely, that even casts a negative shadow on the market. So it's the role of the regulator to ensure that those results are released timely, so that investors can take position.
Right.
Why it stay longer than required? It shows lack of transparency as far as the company is concerned, and corporate governance issue.
Right.
So I think NSE got it right.
And I agree with you on
and
that
the message here from Amaka pretty much reflects that NSE is having a field day. She said, here I was wondering how NSE used to pay salary.
Amaka, that's naughty of you there. Funny stuff. Okay, still more court stuff. This time from MTN to DSTV. The headline here: DSTV implements new tariff despite court order. Somebody on Twitter tagged me and was just going back and forth with me on this issue. The guy, he said, was like, Rotus, I wanted to go and pay my DSTV bill. I noticed that they've implemented the new tariff despite the court order. Is this right? Is it? And I was just like, dude, I mean, it's a private company. I don't know if
become an enforcer.
Yeah, exactly. Gentlemen.
The issue would be whether the court order was served.
Right.
So
but
if it was served, good. That's when I will know that DSTV will have multi-choice will have an issue. But if it wasn't, I don't know.
Bolarinwa.
Yeah, if it was, I think it would be very wrong for the multi-choice to go ahead with the price increase. Why I have an issue with in the interference with their price increase. My position is let the forces of demand and supply play out.
Right.
The government is not providing the right infrastructure. They are not providing infrastructure to alleviate the cost of this companies.
Business.
They bear the entire cost. They won't. So if you are really going to see businesses thrive, let the forces of demand and supply play. Let other players come in and provide competition. So, but for multi-choice to go ahead when there's a court order that they just suspend the process, then I think that is very wrong on them, and the necessary steps should be taken.
We'll see how it plays out. Nwanne and Bolarinwa, 2/3 of the Horsemen. Thank you so much for joining us today on Business Express. Thank you everybody out there for your messages. That is what this show thrives upon. We will see how far with all these legal matters in the coming days and weeks. Valentine.
And that's right. Thank you very much for
this.
If there's anything you've missed, Lagos, go back to YouTube, type Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You'll find the previous episodes of the show, and feel free to ask Rotus questions. All right, inundate him with your questions on Twitter.
Please, I'm there for you guys.
At Rotan Quotes with the K Lagos. Coming up next, we have special guest in to talk to me.
What?
They have their names, right?
Yeah.
Where are they?